Welcome again, dear students. Myself, Dr. Kaleem Ahmed. I am working as assistant professor in the Department of Wildlife Sciences, Aligarh Muslim University, Aligarh. Now, in today's lecture, we will learn and discuss about the role of camera traps play in conserving biodiversity and wildlife. Biodiversity, as the term suggests, is a combination of two words, bio meaning life and diversity meaning variety. So, because before discussing actually about the camera traps, let's discuss what actually the biodiversity is. Actually, essentially it refers to the variety of the life on the earth in its all form. Biodiversity actually represents the rich diversity of the life that exists in nature, from smallest organisms to the largest animals. This variety, I can say, is crucial because it supports ecosystem services, providing us with essentials like food, clean water and air. It also maintains, I can say, ecological balance and ensure resilience, allowing ecosystem to recover from natural disruptions. So, conserving biodiversity help us to prevent species extinctions and protect habitat, which we can say in turn preserve the ecosystem vital for the human survival. Moreover, this biodiversity uh, is also a foundation of the life, I can say, that sustain us, and protecting it is a key to ensuring a healthier planet for future generation. As we can see, as we can find, as technology emerges, different tools are utilized for conserving and monitoring biodiversity, and one of them is camera traps that we are going to discuss in today's lecture. These remote automated photographic devices are equipped with motion sensor and infrared technology that capture images or videos of the wildlife in their natural habitats without the need of human presence. Camera traps are triggered by motion, making them a non-invasive tool that provides critical photographic data for studying wildlife behaviors and wildlife population. This, you can see in this particular slide, is a picture of the camera trap that is researcher nowadays use to answer numerous ecological questions according to your study. Let's talk about the history of the wildlife monitoring with camera traps. The concept actually began with George Ross, who used actually flash photography to capture wildlife images. Then Frank M. Chapman was the first to apply camera traps in scientific research in 1927. He documented avian species and demonstrated the potential of non-invasive wildlife monitoring. Over the years, we can say advancement in technology significantly improved these devices day by day. In India, if you talk about in India, the first scientific use of camera traps occurred in early 90s at Nagarhole National Park, Karnataka, led by Dr. Ullas Karanth, who aimed to estimate tiger population through innovative camera trap methods that identified individual tiger by their unique stripe patterns. Since 2006, camera traps have been essential for conducting tiger census every 4 years, uh, with India's, I can say, 2008 tiger census organized by WI in collaboration with in collaboration with the Ministry of Environment and Forest and Climate Change, recognized by the Guinness Books of the World Records as the largest camera trap survey. So this can highlight the importance of the camera trap in wildlife conservation and biodiversity monitoring. Camera traps we can say are a game changer uh, in biodiversity conservations, offering several key benefits. They provide non-invasive monitoring, allowing us to observe wildlife without disturbing their natural behavior. With we can say 24 into 7 surveillance, these devices captures image around the clock, giving a complete picture of animal activity. They minimize human disturbance by opening remotely, reducing stress on the wildlife. Additionally, we can say camera traps are cost effective also and require less manpower than the traditional methods, making them accessible for various conservation projects that was not previously possible. Their automated design allows for effortless data collection, and high quality image actually helps accurately identify and estimate the wildlife population. Overall, we can say the camera traps are invaluable tools in our efforts to protect and understand the nature. Camera traps actually are highly convenient devices that can we can say effectively replace the traditional wildlife monitoring and survey methods. As traditional, if we compare it with the traditional wildlife monitoring methods, come with several significant disadvantages. They often disturb wildlife, which can alter animal behavior and skew research results. Observing, we can say, rare, cryptic, or nocturnal species is particularly challenging with these methods, as such species are elusive and difficult to detect. Additionally, we can say these traditional monitoring techniques are labor intensive, requiring extensive time and resource to gather data. This led to inconsistent results due to human error, sampling biases, and variation in the methodology. These limitations actually highlight the need for more efficient and effective alternatives, as traditional methods may hinder accurate assessment of the wildlife population and behavior also. Because of these, we can say drawbacks, camera traps are now used frequently all over the world for monitoring of the wildlife population and biodiversity conservation and biodiversity monitoring. However, while camera traps are now widely used, they do come with some limitation. It's not like that these are the things that are 100% accurate. Everything has its own limitation, and one of the major drawback is the high cost of the equipment, which cannot be a barrier for many conservation projects. We can say that because the cost of the camera is very high, so most of the projects actually not able to get the camera traps for their monitoring and research. Camera traps cannot we can say obtain physical sample necessary for studying genetics. If someone is interested in the genetics, then they need to go for the alternate way, because you are not able to catch the species or to detect the species physically. And they can also sometimes malfunction, potentially creating gaps in some kind of the data collection when we need reliable informations in its most accurate form. We can say even though camera traps capture large amounts of the data continuously, but storing and processing the data can be quite labor intensive, and it also needs lot of time to analyze, to interpret the data that has been generated from camera traps. And they are also, we can say, susceptible to theft, because you are install the cameras in the forested areas, and there is always a risk that someone come and theft your cameras. Also sometimes the wildlife species also damage the camera, which can affect the performance of the cameras, as well, which also affect the study design and the affect the overall results of the projects. Given we can say these challenges, it's important to consider multiple factors, we can say, related to someone research objectives when deciding how to utilize camera traps in an effective way. So whenever someone is plan to have camera traps in their study, he needs to takes pros and the cons of the camera traps before going for these particular methods. There are, we can say, several types of the camera traps, each with its unique benefits. There is, let's discuss one by one. There is infrared camera traps, are great for studying nocturnal species without disturbing them, making them ideal for observing, we can say, nighttime behaviors. So this is, we can say, one of the major importance of these infrared camera traps, that we cannot actually disturb the animals and we can observe the behavior of that particular animals during the night time. Then we have another camera traps that is flash camera traps, provides clear nighttime image, but it can disturb the animals, which may affect their natural behaviors because it creates some kind of a flash to disturb the animals. Finally, we have another camera, that is cellular camera traps. They actually send the real time image to researchers via some mobile networking, allowing for efficient remote monitoring without frequent visits in the field sites. We can say each type has its strength, making them suitable for different research needs. So it's totally depend upon the research questions one have. Based on that research questions, one can use any of these camera traps. These days, we can say companies are increasingly focusing on the producing infrared camera traps because of the effectiveness of these IR cameras in monitoring nocturnal wildlife without actually disturbing the animals. So more and more people are actually using, and companies are also increasingly focusing on these infrared camera traps. There are various camera traps model nowadays available in the market. If we talk about in India, we primarily use those actually manufactured by these two companies, Kodiak and Reconics. If you talk about Kodiak, they actually offers many models. I have listed some of these models here. That is C1 flash, which actually captures colorful night image using flash, and several infrared models such as E2, S series and Ambush, which provide nighttime image without color. So then if we talk about the another Reconics models are newer infrared cameras with we can say some kind of automated features like timestamps is also there, and the temperatures, they also record the temperatures. So these are some additional benefits if someone use these IR cameras of Reconics. Then we have a flash cameras like Kodiak C1 can we can say disturb wildlife at night, and IR cameras are no more commonly used because it's they are not actually disturbing the animals. They take the pictures without disturbing the animal's behavior. We can say essential accessories that actually required for camera time monitoring is the storage device, and we also need a lot of AA batteries for the power backup. So these are the things that are very necessary. Particularly I can say about the batteries, a large number of the batteries are required to run the cameras 24/7. These slides actually highlights the key features of the camera traps. At the top, if you can see, we have IR LED with the lights for the walk test. When someone installs the cameras, they need to test the cameras whether it has been installed accurately or not. Then we use these IR LEDs and we will walk in front of the cameras and find out whether the camera is taking the pictures or not. And on the left is the animal sensors, and down right you can see the IR sensors. So if you can see at the center of the camera has a user interface, and one can adjust the settings according to the project needs, according to the research questions, and several other things which are very important while installing the cameras. The below image you can see shows the backup cover. When you open this backup cover, you can insert the AA batteries for power and a slot for inserting SD card is also theirs in the back sides of this camera trap. So this slide is providing you some kind of the glimpse of the camera, that how we can use it, how we can open it, we have to install the batteries, and what are the things that we can do when we are actually installing the cameras in the field. Camera traps are used, we can say, let's find out some of the application of the camera traps in various ecosystems. Camera traps are used in, we can say, in each and every type of the ecosystems that actually explain its versatility of the camera traps. If you can see, if we talk about in the forest, they help monitor elusive wildlife species in the dense areas where it is not possible to reach for the human beings to be theirs. While we can say in the grasslands, there are also, we can say in the grassland we have the species which we are unable to capture. These camera traps can help you to capture the large herbivores and the predators when they are actually moving in the grassland habitats. And it's not like that in harsh environments like deserts also and snowy mountains also. The camera traps provide valuable insights into the species that are hard to observe. And it's because of the camera traps that now we are able to find out one of the elusive species, snow leopard, its number in the entire India where this particular species have been found. That has recently, the report has been also been published that actually surveyed these snow leopard habitats and find out that there are about 718 snow leopards are there in India. It's all possible because of these camera traps. And they are also effective in protected areas and as well as human dominated landscapes. It's not like that their we can say reach is only in the protected areas or forest or the grasslands or we can say deserts. We can also use in these particular things in the protected areas and as well as in the human dominated landscapes like national parks and different urban settings. This allows researchers to study how wildlife actually adapts to the human presence and how they actually behaving in the urban setting as well as in the protected areas or the rural settings. So we can say this wide range of the applications highlights just how important the camera traps are for understanding wildlife in the various environments. The camera traps are we can say also a fantastic tools for keeping an eye on a variety of the species across different ecosystem, because they, we can say, let's discuss some of these things. They allow us to study carnivores, and this actually help us to learn more about their behavior and how they actually population are doing. Particularly they have given you the example of the tiger. Because of these tigers, these camera traps, now we are able to find out how many tigers are there in the different tiger reserves of the India. And it is one of the biggest exercise that nowadays the WI is carrying out with the help of the camera traps. So this we can say gives us that how much the camera trap is important for monitoring the biodiversity and monitoring the large carnivore reserves. So another is we can also catch the glimpse of the small mammals, giving us important insight of their habitats. It's not like the only we can study the animals, bigger animals. We can also study the, we can say, the small carnivores, in which it is not possible for the humans to study without camera traps. When it comes to the herbivores, we can say camera traps shows the grazing habits and the population trends. We can also find out how the herbivore population is doing in the natural habitats. And if you talk about the tropical areas, they are especially helpful for watching primates and their social interactions. We can get the 24/7 informations by means of these camera traps about the behavior. If someone is interested in the behavioral study of the, we can say, primates. We can say plus we can even capture some of the beautiful image of the birds depending our understanding of the avian life with the help of the camera traps. It's not restricted to the herbivores, the carnivores or the small mammals, but one can also get the beautiful image of the, we can say, avian species with the help of the camera traps. And the last, not forget, camera traps are also, we can say, valuable for monitoring. One of the biggest threat nowadays for the wildlife is poaching, that making them an essential part of the wildlife conservation, or we can say is essential part of the biodiversity conservation efforts. So the camera traps is not actually help us to monitor the species about their status and the trend, but it also help us in the poaching. And number of the we can say cases, the camera traps actually help us to capture the different poachers because the image has been captured in the camera traps, and with the help of that camera traps they actually belongs. Then how we can actually set the camera traps? Setting camera traps involves several key steps, and let's discuss to ensure effective monitoring of wildlife. Let's discuss some of these things. First thing is that is very important when someone install the cameras. Choosing the right location is very essential. That where you get actually where you are going to install the cameras. The first thing is that. If so, I have just highlighted some of the things. So look for the some of the signs before installing the cameras. Look for the tracks, scats, or we can say well used trails to identify where animals actually frequently travel. So just install the cameras where you can find out these kind of the signs. And another is placing the cameras near water sources, trails, of the road actually increase the chances of the capturing images of the different passing wildlife species. So this is another things that we need to take care when we actually choose the location for installing the cameras. Another is next is mounting the cameras is also require careful considerations, because for medium to large mammals the best position the camera trap is 35 to 45 centimeters above knee height, that is about above the ground, and 3 to 5 meters away from the trail. So we need to ensure that it is 35 to 45 centimeters above the knee height, and it is 3 to 5 meters away from the trail where we actually install the cameras. Another is we also need to select a sturdy tree or a strong pole or a fallen log for a secure mounting to ensure stability of the camera traps. Otherwise your camera traps will not be set in a proper way if you have not choose the location, not choose the mounting positions for the cameras. And once we can say the camera is in place or is in set it in the capture multiple image in the quick succession. 2 or we can say 3 shots can provide a clear picture of the animal activity. So we need to adjust the trigger speeds also fast as possible, and that ensure that the picture quality is high for clear usable image. We also need to ensure that the picture is clear so that we can use that particular image in future. And we also need to remember that don't forget to activate the time and the date stamp, which is very important for tracking wildlife patterns over times, because that will give some kind of an understanding at which time of the day the species is active, and it will give some very important information regarding the species movement. Finally, we can say to protect the equipment or to protect the camera traps from the theft or damage, consider using some kind of the we can say log box or cable locks, so that the cameras will not be damaged or will not be theft by anyone. If someone following these steps will actually help maximize the effectiveness of one's camera trap setup and contribute to the valuable wildlife monitorings. So these are the steps that I have discussed with you regarding the camera traps, that what are things that one needs to care while installing the cameras. Then what are the different actually factors influencing camera traps? We can say setting up a camera traps involves several important factors that can be affect its success. First is the species of the interest matters. You need to take care about of these things. Knowing which animals you want to monitor help us to choose the right location and the settings, because every species has its unique habitat, its unique movement patterns. So you need to install the cameras according to the species you are going to study. Another is habitat and terrain is also very important and play a very big role, as different environments can influence the animals' movements. Another is one's research objective will guide how you position the cameras and what data you hope to collect. Finally, consider the disturbance levels. Areas with high human activities can change the wildlife behaviors, because you cannot find, if you install the cameras in those areas where there is a frequent movement of the we can say human beings, then you are not able to find any pictures of the wildlife, because it alters the behavior of the species of interest. By keeping we can say these factors in mind, one can set up the camera traps for the best chance of capturing valuable data for wildlife or biodiversity monitorings. So when someone is using the camera traps, it is also important to follow ethical guidelines to ensure possible or we can say responsible biodiversity monitorings. Start installing camera traps by minimizing disturbance to avoid disturbing animals and their habitats. That's very, very important. Always respect wildlife and making sure the cameras don't stress the animals. Another things that is very, very important, one need to take care about that, be environmentally sensitive and consider the impact on the surrounding ecosystems. That if you are installing a camera in a particular place, don't disturb the surrounding areas because you are going to install the camera traps. You need to take care about all these things and follow, that's very, very important. We need to follow the local laws and regulations regarding the camera use and handle the collected data responsibly. If we are going to install the cameras in Indian protected areas, we need to take about that's rules and regulation that has been given according to the Wildlife Protection Act 1972 shall be followed with full support. By keeping these priorities in mind, we can help and protect wildlife while gathering valuable informations about the biodiversity monitoring or wildlife monitoring. With this, I can say we end today's lectures, and in the coming lecture we will continue to discuss more about the hidden secrets of the camera traps. Thank you, dear students. Thank you very much.